one of the famous RJs in the city, RJ Lokesh Dharmani, on the podcast.
We grew up watching films where sacrifice was a huge part of love. And also, you're treating a woman as a transaction. I might get a lot of hate for this.
We feel every generation of every era, people have felt that in relationship.
Lack of accountability is one of the main reasons. You are constantly showing a man abusing a woman in name of love, and that is nothing but pushing your own narrative of toxic masculinity, which is highly, highly objectionable. Gen Zs are very clear of what they want. Gen Zs are also in the space that they want to work on their mental health before they make themselves available to another human being.
Exactly.
Relationship, it's complicated, and now Gen Zs are saying it's situationships.
So, which Bollywood couple wouldn't survive in 2026? What's your opinion on first date?
I always compare dating apps with a shoe shop.
Maybe you guys have used dating apps and you guys might be confused about the new Gen Z terms about relationship, situationship, benching, breadcrumbing, and whatnot. So today we have an amazing guest speaking about love, relationship, dating culture, and Gen Zs. One of the famous RJs in the city, RJ Lokesh Dharmani, on the podcast today. Welcome to TBH, brother.
Hey, thank you so much, Junaid.
How are you doing?
Very good. How are you?
Good, Alhamdulillah. Loki, it's really happy and honored to have you on my podcast today, and I'm looking forward. This is for the first time we are speaking about love and relationship, and let's see how this goes.
Sure, absolutely.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good today, yeah. Today has been a good day.
How's your mental health?
My mental health, yeah, pretty good space actually.
So how do you keep it? How do you try to make sure that you are in a safe space or feeling safe all the time?
Basic चीजें जो है, exercise, eat right, eat healthy, go for long walks, do things that kind of help you keep your mental health intact. Journal a little bit.
Oh.
I like writing. I went to the gym today.
Oh my God.
As you
Okay.
can see.
That's why you look young.
So yeah, all these things help, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay, before we start the conversation, I want to have a quick game. So in this game, there will be 3 different levels. One is green, orange, and red.
Okay.
So you have to pick a number from 1 to 10.
Oh, nice. It's interesting. You're playing games with me. I do this on a daily basis, by the way. I do multiple gaming nights here in the UAE.
Yes.
Oh, you want me to pick a number from 1 to 10?
Yes.
Okay, picked.
Which one?
7.
7. What's your most unpopular relationship opinion?
Unpopular relationship opinion. I don't know where this game is going though. Once I remember on air on the radio, I was discussing, there was a trend. There was a news story that came out, and it said that people somewhere in the West, I don't know which country, people have started living in separate houses, not only in separate rooms, but in separate houses. Couples, these are like legit married couples, and they want to have like space. And I thought it was such a beautiful idea that, and they're not really living too far away from each other, perhaps 2 houses on the same floor or in the same building. And I took this on air and I was like, do you think it's a good idea or not? And then most of the people said, actually 95% of the people said, no, it's a bad idea. Why even get married if you have to live in separate houses? And I was like, no, it's not really living in separate houses. It's like living together. But if you want to like kind of have some distance, then they were like, why can't you have a separate room? I said, if you can have a separate room, then why can't you have a separate house? So that's the one that I can think of, my most unpopular.
But what that your thought process came from, like it's okay to stay in separate houses?
I feel, I generally, I'm a big advocate of space in relationships. And I think when you are with someone, like for example, if I'm married, if I have a wife, right? She would like to do up the living room in a certain way, and I would like to do up the living room in a certain way, right? So even if you are like living together, there are common spaces you're sharing, but it's always nice to have the entire pad to yourself, the entire house to yourself. But at the same time, you love the person.
Yeah.
And if that person is like close by in the same building or on the same floor, and it's not that you're not living with them. Of course, you're spending days at end with them.
Yeah.
In the same house, but you do have the luxury to go back to your space, and they have the luxury to go back to their space.
Interesting. That's a different perspective which
Yeah.
I got. Okay.
Yeah, so that was my most unpopular relationship
Okay. So
take.
what was people's reaction on that?
Most of the people said
No.
said
Okay.
said that why are you even getting married and why are you even in a relationship if you can't live together? And I'm not saying that you can't live together. I'm saying that you totally can live together. That's a part of life. You're together for weeks and months at end, but if you want to have the luxury to once in a while, maybe once in 3 days, go back to your apartment and chill, you should have that luxury. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to round 2.
Okay.
Once again, pick a number from 1 to 10.
Okay, picked.
3.
Okay, maybe 1. Okay.
Is ghosting ever justified?
No. Communication is key. No. That's actually one of my biggest pet peeves in dating and relationship culture.
But why do people ghost?
That's a long answer.
Okay.
See, ghosting, the term ghosting has come into our lives pretty recently, right? Especially after the advent of the dating apps, right? And not that ghosting was not happening back in the day. When there were no dating apps, there were people ghosting as well. We didn't really call it ghosting. I'm going to come to that later.
Yeah.
But I think ghosting these days, it happens because of multiple reasons. One, I feel we don't really see people as people anymore, especially on a screen. And especially if you've not met them, you're chatting with them and all that. Ghosting can happen on different levels, right? You can ghost a person after you've chatted with them on a dating app. You can ghost a person after you've met them. You can ghost a person after you've been on multiple dates with that person, right? And when it happens when you haven't really met and when ghosting happens only on the dating apps, I feel there's no accountability because there's no human being. It's just someone you're speaking to. It's not in flesh and blood, right? So it's very easy for you to treat people as not as people but as just objects. So that's level 1. When you have met them or met them a couple of times or let's say spoken to them over the phone and all that, I think lack of accountability is one of the main reasons. I don't have to explain to you, like, the lack of accountability and the lack of humanity leads to ghosting. Also, I think a lot of people have not dealt with their own issues. So they themselves don't know. And why they're ghosting you? Because they also want to keep you on a rainy day, which means like, okay, I don't feel like I am not in the mood right now to talk to you. Okay. But I want to keep you around. Okay. So that like 3 days later when I'm lonely, at least I can reach out to you.
Yeah.
So I don't want to completely shut you out. But at the same time, I don't want to completely take you in right now because I don't have the capacity.
What's your opinion on that?
I think it just takes away the humanity from people. Whatever you're going through, just communicate, I feel.
You said a very important line, and we feel every generation of every era, people have felt that in relationship, कि we don't see people as people.
Yeah. No, especially on dating apps. Back in the day when you were there was a certain sense of accountability. Let's say back in the day when I was dating in the 90s, right? How would you meet people? You would meet people through friends, through work friends, through in the society or whatever, right? New people, whatever. So if I'm dating ABC girl, right? 3 people know her, 4 people know me, and 5 people know that we are dating. Exactly. Right now, you're just a picture and a name and a few prompts on a screen. That's all that you are. You're not a human being for me. People don't even see them as human beings. And especially on dating apps that are driven only on physical intimacy and they're not really seeking any deeper, meaningful connections and relationships. There, though, it's even more difficult. Like,
are you against dating apps?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
But I'm not a big fan of dating apps.
Okay, but what do you think, how that transition happened from like relationship being built through connections or through your surroundings to getting online through dating apps? The transition that happens from offline dating to online dating.
Everything became online. We started communicating with the people online. And that's how the shift happened. And of course, the good things also.
Yeah.
It widens your pool of people you're meeting so beautifully, right? I can be sitting in Dubai and I can be chatting to somebody in San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
And like mine, I'll tell you a very interesting story. When I was growing up, like in my 20s, in early 2000s, or actually even in my teens, in 1990s, I remember MSN Messenger had come.
Okay.
Okay, you wouldn't know
No,
much about
I wasn't
MSN
born.
Messenger. Yeah. So like Gmail and all these things were kicking in, and MSN Messenger used to be basically, it was a chat room, okay? And we would go to we didn't even have like computer at home with the internet and all that. So we would go to all these parlors, computer parlors, and you log on online, and we'll go to MSN website and these chat rooms. And it was very interesting because these chat rooms had different people from all over the country, all over the world also. And in my teens, I actually met so many interesting people. I was chatting with professors, I was chatting with thinkers, I was chatting with, and of course, all kinds of other things were also happening. People were like dating and dirty talking and dirty chatting, and all those things were also happening. But I'm saying it really connects you with people who are like-minded, who can broaden your horizon. And I flourished. I remember like my worldview expanded because of MSN Messenger. So coming back to the dating apps, you can really find like-minded people, your prompts, their prompts, if they match, if there's great chemistry, great connection, you can really find.
What do you think of
like-minded.
today's dating app culture? Today's generations?
I don't think so. Gen Z, whatever interaction that I've had with Gen Z, I think they've had enough with the dating apps. I think they're going back to meeting people organically and all that.
Yeah.
You tell me, are you?
Yeah,
are
of
you,
course. See, what I feel is there is no real connection that happening. Or maybe, for example, if one person is speaking with someone and thinking that the opposite person is speaking just with me, but there will be 10 different connections of that person, and we don't know the reality of what's happening.
Does that bother you though?
Yeah.
It bothers you. But then have you declared that both of you are exclusive to each other?
We do, no.
That's what I'm saying. So
Communication is missing.
yeah, I feel, I think that's the beauty of it. That's also a beauty of it, and that's also, I'll come to that. So the fact that you're talking to 10 people, it's giving you a great exposure of understanding who you are and understanding what you want in a relationship. It really helps you grow. But at the same time, there's a psychological term called paradox of choices. And when you have too many choices, then you're really spoiled for choices. And then you're always thinking that, okay, maybe in the next swipe, I'm going to have somebody more charming, somebody more attractive, somebody more intelligent, somebody more witty. And that never stops.
Okay, interesting.
Right? So you're constantly swiping right in the hope of getting, isse better mil jayega, and hence the commodification of people. I always compare dating apps with a shoe shop.
Okay.
As a kid, I would go to a shoe shop and we would be saying, भैया वो वाला दिखाओ, नहीं भैया वो वाला दिखाओ, भैया नहीं वो अच्छा लग रहा है वो दिखाओ. Similarly on the dating app, you're constantly thinking, हाँ ये अच्छा है, but इसकी अगली वाली ज़्यादा अच्छी होगी. हाँ ये ठीक है, but इसके prompts ज़्यादा अच्छे हैं, अगली वाला. You're constantly looking at it. It's a bottomless pit. It's never ending. Also, what's interesting, Junaid, is that the dating app is perhaps the only services who are providing you with solution and self-sabotaging their own businesses.
Okay.
Come to think of it, they are saying we will give you, this is a platform where you will find love. You find love, then you're going to uninstall my app. Then you're going to, basically, you're going to spoil my business.
Yeah.
So they don't want you to find love. They are very smart. It's a business at the end of the day. They don't want you to find love because if you find love, you're going to uninstall the app.
Exactly.
And their business is going to suffer.
Yeah.
So the dating app works like a slot machine. Okay? Every time you get a match, see, I'm having goosebumps as I'm talking about it. It's literally a slot machine. Every time even the sound of it. Have you ever seen when you get a match, there's a certain sound that kind of sounds like a slot machine? There's a jubilation sound effect.
Dopamine type.
And it leads to dopamine rise, right? So the idea of the dating app is to keep giving you small doses of dopamine so that you keep coming back to the app, but they will make it so difficult for you to find love because if you find love, then their business is going to be affected.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Okay, we will go in depth on a later stage.
Sure.
So the last level.
Sure.
Once again, you have to pick a number from 1 to 10.
Okay, 10.
Is love enough to sustain a relationship?
No, of course not.
Okay. What's the criterias of love? What's required
There's so
in
many
a
things.
relationship?
For a relationship, there has to be trust, there has to be love, there has to be respect, there has to be space, there has to be communication. There are a bunch of things that come in play.
Can you list down like 1, 2, 3 checklist if you
Like in order, I think for me personally speaking,
from
I
your
think
perspective.
I think I need to trust the person for sure. I need to respect the person for sure. There's a big difference between liking and loving. So of course I love the person. That's the reason and that's a given. And then the third is I have to like the person as well. Do you understand, right? There's
Yeah.
a huge difference between
Like
liking
and love.
and loving.
Yeah.
Like there are things that, let's say, Junaid stands for. Like Junaid is a compassionate human being, or let's say Junaid is empathetic, or let's say Junaid is a good listener. These are things that I can like Junaid for.
Yeah.
You know, but you don't love Junaid for these reasons. You might love Junaid for these reasons, but love is something which is kind of inexplicable. Sometimes you might not like the person, but you love the person. So for me, to be in love with someone, I need to trust, respect, and importantly, like the person as well. They have to be a good human being, a nice human being.
Got it. Okay, is there a difference between attraction, love, and like?
Of course.
Can you tell me, can you differentiate between all three?
Attraction, love, and like, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, like is basically what kind of a person you are, right?
For the personality who we are.
The personality that you are. You like not just, and these terms are so interchangeably used most of the times. Liking, loving, fond of. I can be fond of you, but I might not like you. There are, like, in the office also, you think of in your friend circle, there are people you're really fond of. Their energy is really infectious and all that. But let's say when they start speaking about world issues, about feminism, about, let's say, about sexism, about misogyny, they might not have the best views, but they're fun to be around.
Yeah.
So when they're fun to be around, I can be fond of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's being fond of. Liking is that I like you for what you stand, what your take is on humanity, how you see people, what kind of a person you are. I might like you for that. Love is completely inexplicable. Love is something which is, like, in the ideal world, which is very selfless. But it's also, if you have to explore, it's also a combination of trust and respect and liking someone and all that. But I feel largely love is very inexplicable. It cannot be because of XYZ. Love just happens and it just exists in the most ideal world. And the third one you said, we were talking about liking, love, and
attraction.
Attraction. Attraction is when you find someone hot and sexy.
That's it.
Yeah. And see, attraction also can also happen on various levels. Is it just a physical attraction? Is it just there are some very intellectual attraction that can happen. The person might not be conventionally physically good looking, but their mind is so fascinating that you're fully extremely attracted towards them.
True.
So
Loki, that was a deep understanding. That was just an icebreaker which we had.
no, because I talk about love on a daily basis,
Yeah.
I think people mix and interchange all these terms: love, fond of, attraction. And it will be nice if the takeaway from the podcast is that people try to understand the difference between all these terms and use it smartly and appropriately, I would say.
True, that's true. But how did you get this mindset from? Like, where did your interest in speaking about love, and how were you as a child?
How was it as a child?
Yeah.
See, as a child, as a child, I was a very nice, creative, happy-go-lucky person. You will find me in one corner who's happily drawing, painting. I was very creative, into creative arts. I was also into performing arts, getting ready for debates and discussions and extemporary speeches and all those things. Fascination towards love, not just love, but human psychology. I've been always immensely interested in human psychology. And I think love is one part of that. So for the last, 10, 15 years, I do educate myself reading a lot of literature around psychology, human psychology, love, relationship, and all that. And in the last 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, whatever, I don't know, I have lost count, but October 2025, I've been with City for like last 16 years.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do like a show on love. And there are a lot of shows, by the way, in India and all over the world that exist on love. But they are very titillating, so to speak. They are very, you understand what titillating is, right? They just want to, like, kind of, they're very naughty in nature. Okay, they want to excite people and titillate people, but they don't really want to address the various layers of love.
Okay.
And I wanted to explore that.
Okay.
I wanted to explore. So what I do on the show is I kind of talk about love lyrics. I decode love lyrics. I actually do something called pass, match or pass,
Okay.
which is an interesting concept because dating apps is all about the way you look, right? So I say if you're single, send me a message. Then two people send me a message, single people. They can't see each other.
Okay.
Okay, and I ask them questions. And just by listening to the voice, they're making their mind whether they should go on a date with that person or not.
Whew.
So we talk for a good like half an hour. I take them multiple times on air. I talk about the red flags, the green flags. Are you a Shah Rukh Khan fan or a Salman Khan fan? What's your first idea? What's your idea of the first date? All those questions. And if they think that there's a vibe going on, then they say yes or they say no. And when they do go on a date, then I also do something called the date update. So after 2 weeks after they've gone on a date, I call them back on air and say how
Oh
did the
my
date
God.
go and all that. Yeah. So I wanted to.
But do you reveal the person over there on the show?
I sometimes because this has to go up on social media as well,
Yeah.
right? So I tell them to like kind of shoot themselves, but some people do not want to. So I respect.
Based on the privacy.
I respect their anonymity and privacy and
Got it.
yeah.
Interesting. So, how do you think that the love show which you have started, it's been like 8 months, you said?
Yeah.
October. So, how did it impact people? What change? What's the stories you have got to learn from this show?
Very interesting stories, Ray. So there's fun, but there are some interesting topics also that I'm touching upon. There's something what I call Loki's hot take.
Okay.
Where every day I come up with a hot take on love, and people have to answer whether they agree with me or not. For example, I say both the parties should pay on the first date.
Okay.
Okay, or let's say the woman should not shift to a man's house after they get married. They should get into their own house. They should not stay in the man's parents' house or the man's house or the woman's house. They should build their own house. Okay, and people have to agree or disagree, and they have to like kind of share their own opinions with me.
What's your opinion on first date?
I think it should be a Dutch. I think people, both men and women, should.
Be treated equally.
Yeah.
Got it.
What's your take on first date?
I think for me as a person, I like to be a giver. So giver as in for if we sit on a table, it creates authority in the table when you pay.
So you want to have authority in a relationship?
No, not in maybe I haven't thought about relationship, but in terms of that, when it comes to that, when it comes to paying, I always like to pay.
No, you're right actually. See, we live in a capitalist world, and I
Yeah.
think the one who's paying money will have the authority, will have the edge over
Yeah.
other people.
Yes.
This happens with friends, with family members.
Exactly.
And in a date as well. But at the same time, I think because we live in a patriarchal world where the authority already is with the man, so he's expected to pay on a date. Except women are
It's not necessary. I feel that women can't pay or women shouldn't pay. It's not like that. But if you have that kind of mindset, ki I will feel good if I pay.
that's what I'm saying. That mindset of yours that I will feel good, that I will pay is not your. You might like to think that it's your personal opinion, but it's the society that has conditioned you
Okay.
to believing that you will feel better if you pay.
Right.
It's not your personal opinion. It's
The
years
societal,
and years of
yeah.
conditioning that men should pay and they feel better, and that's the reason we feel better. Otherwise, it's not coming from within. It's largely the effect of the society. I feel.
Got it. Okay. This
Yeah.
point is to be noted.
Yeah.
Okay.
In
So,
fact, there's such a huge debate going on. Pranat More, the 370 rupees biryani plate that
yeah.
we saw.
So, would you like to speak about?
I actually made a reel on this.
Yeah, I just saw. But what do you have to say on it? The mindset is built of 370, and you want to just make worth of it by saying taking up a physical intimacy after the date. What's
Absolutely horrible. You think that you're entitled to a woman's body because you paid on the date. See, that's what I was saying, that right? It gives you the authority, it gives you an edge, and then you feel entitled कि मैंने तो भाई pay कर दिया, so मुझे क्या मिला? And also you're treating a woman as a transaction.
the biggest problem in the society, whatever the relationship is? Either it might be with your friends, with your parents, or date or anyone, expectation.
Fair, But expecting a woman to lend you her body because you paid 350 rupees or 5,000 rupees or 500,000 rupees, that's horrible.
No, there shouldn't be any expectation when you are meeting
No,
someone.
no, no. You can expect. It's very human to expect. If I'm meeting a girl, I would expect her to show interest in me and be curious about me and try to get me know as a person. I would try to know her as a person. All those expectations, legit expectations, I understand that. I hear you when you say that if you keep your expectations low, then there's no heartbreak.
Yeah.
Then you can go about your life a little bit. I hear you all that, but even if somebody is having expectations, this is not even having an expectation. This is crime. This is a rapist mentality.
Exactly.
That I have paid, so I have access to your body. And he did not stop. He actually went on explaining how he was trying to molest her, and it was horrible. I'm so happy that so many people have spoken
Speaking about it,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good. Okay, so moving forward, I want to know more about Gen Z and millennials. Okay.
Yes.
So, what do you think that how do millennials and Gen Z see relationship?
How differently and how similarly?
Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that. I was thinking about the same thing the other day, that though the vocabulary must have changed, the sentiment is largely the same. We used to call it, back in the day, 10 years ago, our Facebook update would be relationship, it's complicated, right? And now Gen Z is saying it's situationship, right?
It's the terms.
It's just the language that has changed, but the sentiment behind it is the ambiguity that it's ambiguous. We don't know where this relationship is going, right? We don't know how the other person is invested in us, or are we equally invested in them and all. So we would call it relationship status on Facebook complicated, and now the Gen Z is saying we are in a situationship because we don't know.
Yeah.
So the vocabulary is changing, but the emotions and all those things pretty much remain the same. I feel there are two things. One is the people, the humanity of human beings. That's one thing. And the other thing is the timing of where you were born, your surroundings, your upbringing, your socioeconomic positioning of the country, the culture that you come from, and all that, right? Now, these are two different things. So Gen Z and millennial, at the end of the day, they are all human beings. They're all run by, a very similar set of limited emotions. Sabko validation chahiye. Everyone wants to be seen. Everyone wants to be acknowledged. Everyone wants love. There's attraction. There's lust. There's manipulation. There's ghosting. There's insecurity. There's fear. We're all controlled. No matter I was falling in love in the 90s or you're falling in love these days, we're all controlled by the same set of emotions, right?
True.
So on that level, nothing has changed. We are people, we are human beings, and we still remain the same, right? The fact that human beings are called a social animal, they're called a social animal for a reason, because they want to be seen. I think one of the biggest cravings of human beings, of our psychology, is that we want to be seen by one person, but we want to be seen. I want a witness to my life. We want attention, and I want a witness to my life journey. My highs, my lows, I want it to be documented live and a witness to that.
Yeah.
So that I feel validated and I feel seen. I think that is also perhaps why social media works so beautifully, because because they have understood that human beings need validation. And here, when you put stuff on social media, you're not only validated by one person, you're validated by hundreds and thousands of followers. And that's the reason it's working, because of the human psychology of being seen and being acknowledged and getting the attention and all that. Yeah. So that was one part of it, that the humanity of it remains the same. So Gen Z and millennial, pretty much the same. They dealt with love and relationship with the same set of emotions, heartbreaks, happiness, getting excited on the first date, touching hands or whatever.
Yeah.
The second set, which is important, which brings us the differences between Gen Z and millennials, is where you were born, what you were doing. See, there are multiple reasons, right? Your financial condition, the platforms you're meeting, the areas, zones where you're meeting, the families you come from, the cultures you come from. Do you come from a rural setup, a conservative setup? Do you come from an urban setup, a liberal setup, a progressive setup? All those things, right? The finances of it, to just expand on this a little bit, 1990s, most of India, the middle class population was only 1 to 3%. My numbers could be like here and there, but largely middle class.
Okay.
The upper class, which is the rich class, was hardly 0.51% of the entire population. Middle class was hardly 1 to 3%.
Okay.
Lower middle class was around 30%, and the lower class was largely the 50-60%.
Oh.
Okay. But 80s and 90s were also interesting because globalization was happening and we were being exposed, and right. So
The shift
was happening.
Yeah.
So when I was growing up in the 90s, my main and every kid's aim, no matter you're a rural kid or an urban kid, but हमारा aim था to push ourselves from the lower to the middle class, from the middle class to the upper middle class, from the upper middle class, right? The constant push was that, what our parents went through in poverty. See, again, I'm also giving you a very urban point of view, but still stick to the urban point of view. The whole aim was to push ourselves from our misery. Agar middle class hai, lower middle class hai, to just push. BPO happened, where the call centers happened, and all kids, so many of my friends would go at night, work at American call centers and all that, and they were earning 25,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees.
Back in those days.
Back in the 90s, in a month, that was big one, right? So what I'm trying to say is that your financial condition was different. Your ambition at that point in time was like, I need to get a car, I need to have a house. Security. That's my understanding of security. So a car and a house. By the time I'm 25, 29 maximum, these are my aims and life goals. So when you were going out in love spaces, you were also trying to find similar partnership, right? Somebody who also have similar goals. When I was dating, I would like to kind of date an ambitious girl who is also going for similar goals and who would help me achieve my goals.
Exactly.
But now the Gen Zs, they don't want to earn a house because they were born in a house and their parents have already 3 houses that they put on rent, right?
Yeah.
Again, speaking from a very urban perspective. Or they were born in a family which had 3 cars and all that. Their aim and their ambition is not, of course, I'm saying everyone wants like a good career and a good package and all that. I'm not saying that. But Gen Z's ambitions will be like, let's travel the world, let's have more experiences and all that. So when they're going in dating spaces, that's how they want to meander and maneuver through their love spaces, right?
Yeah.
And that brings the difference. Yeah, whether it should be or should not be, that's completely
No,
dependent
for
on.
example, I want to ask you, Ki, for example, if there are 2 people who wants to date each other, but they have a different goals, will that be a compatible pair of 2 people
I
dating?
mean, it completely, it completely depends on people, right? Am I looking for someone who has similar goals in life? If then I like to go for that one, someone who has similar goals like mine. But if not, then that's also broadening my horizon that, oh, okay, I thought in my head, that having a car and having a house is more than enough. But if it is showing me that no, those are materialistic pursuits,
Yeah.
I would rather go and do yoga at the top of the mountain in somewhere in the US, then I could be attracted to that as well. So it might work.
So it depends on, for example, for what I see is if I have one set of mindset and the opposite person have a different set of mindset, so I will think everything from my perspective and the opposite person will have a different perspective.
Right.
But when 2 people comes together and share their mindset, they will get to learn about and see the life from a different lenses.
Absolutely. And it completely depends on what you want in life. Do you want to broaden your horizon, or do you? It's not a good thing or a bad thing. Or are you with your worldview, with your idea of fun, with your life goals, and you want to stick to them, and that's also okay.
True.
So
That's so
completely
true.
depending on the kind of person that you are.
So you are millennial, right? So how do you feel when you meet a Gen Z?
I am most excited. I would love to know what's going on in their mind. I would love to know their take on politics, international politics, Indian politics, social issues, what they think about sexism, feminism.
Do you get confused when you are speaking to any kind of any Gen Zs or with regards to their mindset or something?
Confused, as
Yes.
in?
Confused as in, there are many opinions of people where millennials are not able to understand, because I see lots of millennials complaints about Gen Zs in terms of work culture.
They're complaining about Gen Zs and their
Yes.
work culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a big problem with that. I think to kind of paint an entire generation as problematic or as not hardworking or someone slacking work is very problematic. In my own office, I have seen Gen Zs who are diligent and hardworking and so professional.
Yeah.
And I also have Gen Zs who slack work, who do not care, and who have terrible work ethics. Similarly, millennials, so many of my colleagues who are extremely hardworking, extremely professional, but at the same time, a couple of them are extremely lazy, not care, will not work. You have to push them all the time. So all kinds of people exist in all kinds of generations. To just say that, I think the fact that Gen Z has started pushing back and started talking about their boundaries, I think that's misunderstood as slacking work, or I think that's what I feel.
So we do have boundaries, and we speak about boundaries.
Yeah, and that's misunderstood as you're shirking work. You're just putting boundaries. Just because I, as a back in the 90s and early 2000s, worked after 6 o'clock till 12 o'clock.
Exactly.
I can't expect the same from the new generation. I mean,
That comes with the culture, right? For example, back in those days, it was okay to work. Like, there was a culture of sense of security, of people are okay because they need to build their career, they need to build their family.
exactly what I was telling you about, right?
Yeah.
Like most of us, see, again, it's a very large generic blanket statement to make, but we were trying to rise above our social economic status. We were trying to push. Our goal was a car and a house, right?
Yeah.
So if that, and then we were also operating from a place of fear that if I not stay back after work, and if I did not put in extra hours of work, or if I did not take on myself, then I would my job and
Yeah.
my sapna, my dream of getting a car and getting a house will. So we were all operating from a space of fear. Gen Z, they are more focused on their mental health. They are more focused on self growth and all that.
And
I
they
think-
believe that if not this one, we will get a better one.
Exactly. See, even in that space, sometimes, of course, you can go wrong. Sometimes you cannot. You right. I'm not saying all millennials were working hard and putting extra hours and all that. But I'm also not saying that all millennials were sitting at home and shirking work. Similarly, I'm not saying that all Gen Z is shirking work or all Gen Zs are putting whatever. All I'm saying is that Gen Zs are putting boundaries, which is pretty healthy, and we should respect that. But within that space, some Gen Zs could be completely shirking work and using that as an excuse, using boundaries as an excuse, and that should be called out as well.
How
But
do we understand both the differences?
you can come to know by the pattern, right? You can come to know by the behavior of the person.
Because I have seen that pattern as well, where people are taking their an excuse to show up their laziness.
Yeah, exactly. So if they are lazy and using boundaries or mental health as an excuse to avoid work, and if that happens over a period of time, you can see the pattern, and when you can see the pattern, you can call them out. It's not that difficult, right?
Got it. Why do good relationship fail?
यार ये तो बहुत ही लंबा है. इसका तो मतलब मैं 2 घंटे का जवाब दे सकता हूँ. Why do good relationship fail? Because people evolve, people go in different directions, your life goals are not the same. I must have fallen in love with this person who was ABC, was ambitious, was raring to go, wanted to travel around the world, but let's say she has evolved in 10 years to be less ambitious. She wants to be at home. She's not the same person. But I still seeking that same person, that I fell in love with.
Yeah.
So of course, relationship could go sour. There could be misunderstandings. There could be you outgrow each other. There could be lack of passion, in your physical intimacy. There are multiple ways by which good relationships could fail. Speaking of good relationships, because there's so much about it. There's a relationship expert called Esther Perel.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever watched her or read her. So she once spoke about 4, if I can remember it correctly, she spoke about 4 reasons why most relationships fail. And she said indifference, contempt, violence, and there was one thing more, and she's like, most of the times when there's indifference, when I don't care, what you're doing. I don't care how you're going to spend your evening. I don't care what you're going to have for lunch or dinner. When that starts stepping into your relationship, that's a red flag, and you know that the relationship is ending. When there's contempt, that, that done so much for you and you haven't done anything for me. There's resentment and contempt when you start hating the person that you haven't done enough for me and I have done so much for you. That's relationships end. Then she spoke about violence, and she was like, violence is not just like hitting people. Violence could be verbal violence. Violence could be sarcastic comments. You go out
Taunts.
taunts. You go out in a party, and you're pulling down the person in front of everyone.
Disrespecting your partner.
That's violence too. So she spoke about, I'm forgetting the fourth one. There was indifference, contempt, violence, and there was something else. So yeah, maybe you should look her up, and
Sure.
it's an interesting
of
one.
course.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your take on arranged marriage and love marriage?
Yeah. To each their own, man. If it works for you, why not go for it?
What do you prefer?
I would prefer love marriage for sure. I would love to know the person, and yeah.
What do you have to say about arranged marriage?
See, again, whatever works for you, if it works for you, I'm not a huge advocate of arranged marriages. Yeah, because a lot of compromise that you're expected to do. Okay, I'll tell you, I don't know if I should say this or not. I'm thinking. See, what happens is, and it could go wrong in both ways. So in love marriage, when two people meet, right? They meet, they respect each other, they love each other, right? And they get married.
Yeah.
Okay. And the excitement of knowing each other and all that lasts a certain time, and then they get married. And then the expectations come. You know what kind of a person I am, right? You've dated me for 2 years. You know what kind of a person, right? And you're not doing this, okay? And hence downfall starts. So it could go that way. Or it could be, hey, because I know the person that you are, so I'm going to make sure that I take care of you, and the other person also takes care of you, right?
Yeah.
So then it work like that. In arranged marriages also, when two people meet, they are strangers. They don't know. They're still trying to kind of know each other and all that. So they are at their best behavior. They are in their dating time at that point in time, right? So they are at their best behavior. And it really grow because they are the best behavior. They're really giving to the relationship, to the other person, so they could really grow. But they could also be like a completely arch of personalities, and they realize that this is not the kind of person I was looking for, and then it could be a disaster. So both the love marriages and arranged marriages can go either way depending on
Got it.
where you are. Yeah.
Okay, moving forward, let's have some game. So you have to tell me. So what do you think about Kabir Singh? Is it was it a romantic movie or toxic, or it was misunderstood?
I haven't watched.
Oh,
the
you
film, so
haven't watched Kabir Singh?
I do not want to watch Kabir Singh.
Okay, what was your thought process when someone told about Kabir Singh?
Yeah, very problematic. Hugely problematic.
Okay.
Is my answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Animal?
Hugely problematic. Extremely problematic.
Did it show that toxic masculinity was?
Of course. Of course.
What about the love part? Was that love, or that was kind of different mindset of Sigma, or what do you say, authoritative mindset of male?
Yeah, no, that was not. No, absolutely not. It was a very simple movie. Sandeep, what's his name? Reddy Vaga, whatever his name is.
Yeah, that was the
director.
Telugu,
Yeah. He understood that these are the trigger points of people.
Yeah.
Okay, let me trigger them.
Yeah.
Let me make a woman lick a man's boot. Let me make a man slap a woman or whatever. He has understood that these trigger points, this will get the people talking about the movie. So let's wind them as much as we can, and that's it. This is not, Animal is not any reflection of work. And when Sandeep says that, we should slap each other, what kind of a love it is if we can even slap each other. Are you saying it from the woman's perspective as well? You are constantly showing a man abusing a woman in name of love, and that is nothing but pushing your own narrative of toxic masculinity, which is highly, highly objectionable. So yeah, no.
True. Okay. Have you watched Jab We Met?
I've watched it.
Okay. Would you like to have a partner like Geet?
Would I like to have a partner like Geet? Okay, what qualities of Geet are you thinking of that you have come up with this question?
She is very open, or maybe she's quite energetic. She doesn't think too much about life, or she just, whatever she has, she just says it out.
I have a problem with that. So I wouldn't be dating someone like that who
sings out.
who's weighing their words. I have a problem with that. But what I like about Geet is that she's very open. I think she's accepting
Yeah.
and not very judging. I like that about her. She's a very clean heart. So yeah, I would like to date someone like that. But I would also like someone to be slightly more mature, I would say.
Got it.
I think she
Which
was-
Bollywood character is the ultimate green flag for you?
Okay, that's a good question. Who is the ultimate green flag? Yeah, there were a lot of Imran Khan films. You know, okay, this is a very interesting question since you brought Animal. And I'm going to say something here. We have come such a long way in the last 15, 20 years and not in the right direction, I would say. We were making films where we were actually showing mature, vulnerable men who would not choose violence, who were smart, who would take care of the girl, but not really resort to violence. And from that, we have come to the Animals and the Kabir Singhs of the world. We were a generation where Imran Khan in Jaane Tu Ya Jaane Na, because his mother had told him not to resort to violence, was the least violent person. I don't know, have you watched Jaane Tu Ya Jaane Na?
No, I'm not sure. Maybe I have watched, but I don't remember the
So there's a scene in the where the heroine is telling Imran Khan's character to pick up a fight with another guy who's messing with her. But because he resolved not to get into a physical fight, he actually very intelligently handles the situation, befriends that guy in college, and then they have a chill time together. You know, and yet he was respectful of the girl. He was taking care of her. Even in a film like Break Ke Baad, I don't know if you have watched that film also or not, Deepika Padukone and Imran Khan, you know, such great portrayal of men in those movies that they were respectful, they would good listeners, they would women, what they were saying and all that. From that to suddenly Kabir Singh's and it's horrible.
True.
But to answer your question, who's the ultimate green flag? I think I kind of liked Tara in Tamasha.
Okay.
I think she's the kind of person I would like to date. That she's giving, she's empathetic,
Yeah.
she can be invested in your life, but she is a person of her own. And I'm going to expand on that if I can.
Sure.
We were talking about millennials and Gen Zs, right? And how their approach towards love is so different, right? We grew up, so Tara is my green flag, right? We grew up watching films where sacrifice was a huge part of love, where in movies, you know, men and women are not confessing love to each other. Or even if they have confessed love to each other, it is a woman's responsibility to be with the man because she has, you know, vowed to be with this man. Or man's responsibility to be with the woman because he has vowed to be with this woman. And they are struggling and then they are going through so many challenges.
Yeah.
Okay, and in the name of love, they are glorifying all the sufferings and not coming out of that relationship, right? So that was the approach of millennials that, you know, okay, compromise and suffer if you need to, whatever, right? Gen Zs don't do that. Gen Zs are very clear of what they want. Gen Zs are also in the space that they want to work on their mental health before they make themselves available to another human being.
Exactly.
Why? Because they grew on Imtiaz Ali films. They grew up looking at Tara. When Ranbir Kapoor, Ved proposes to Tara, she says that, dude, you're not the same person I met in Corsica.
Exactly.
And she could have, you know, it was a big scene. He was proposing to her in front of her, and she could have submitted it, you know, herself to it, ki, "Arey yaar, uski besti ho jayegi," and all that. But she stood her ground. She was like, I do not want this.
That's the Gen Z mentality.
That's the Gen Z mentality. So, you know what we were talking about, how millennials and Gen Zs think differently, also depends on the kind of art and pop culture you have consumed. You have internalized that sacrifice is everything. You know, if he has proposed to me, I should accept it. Tara is a person of her own. She can love you, but at the same time, if she's not sure of it, she's not going to go ahead with that.
Tamasha was a great movie, to be
Yeah.
honest.
So my green flag is
Tara. Okay.
Tara. Yeah.
So which Bollywood couple wouldn't survive in 2026?
Wake Up Sid, Kankana Sen Sharma and Ranbir Kapoor, Sid and Aisha.
Okay. So which SRK love story is the healthiest one? DDLJ, Veer Zara, Kal Ho Na Ho.
DDLJ is very problematic, especially the first half. He's pretty much teasing her, embarrassing her. Yeah, problematic. Veer Zara, see again, this whole sacrifice that I can live without the woman for 23 years क्योंकि उसकी इज्जत पे आँच नहीं आनी चाहिए. I mean, it's sweet, but but I don't
Kal ho na
Kal
ho.
ho na ho. Maybe yeah, kal ho na ho, I guess. Yeah, helping the love of your life find love. Yeah.
Okay, name a Bollywood character everyone loves but would be a terrible partner in real life.
A Bollywood
Character everyone loves, but that character would be a terrible partner in real life.
I might get a lot of hate for this, but I think Farhan Akhtar Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara was a bit annoying.
Okay.
This, constant happy-go-lucky, like calm it down. Like, especially in tough or in intense times,
Yeah.
like just shut up a little bit. Just like, I don't know, just bring a little more maturity and intensity to the situation instead of
Got it.
making.
Okay, let's go to the next game.
Huh.
Red flag and green flag. What is beige flag, by the way?
Yeah, you know what a beige flag is, right? Which is like somewhere in between red flag and green flag. Yeah.
Can you explain, like, is it a new term, beige flag, or
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
there from
It's a new term. Like you can't make out. Like it could be a red flag in some situations and green flag in some situations. So it's a beige flag. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So let's play this red flag, green flag, beige flag.
ठीक है.
Okay. Replies after 8 hours.
Oh, on purpose?
Depends on the situation. Okay, you can justify.
I can give a benefit of the doubt. So so a big deal. But if you're doing this on purpose regularly, a major red flag. Yes.
Okay. Shares live location.
Willingly sharing live location?
Yes.
Or asking for live location?
Sharing live location.
Yeah, green
It's
flag,
okay.
yeah.
Doesn't post their partner online.
Specifically not partner online or doesn't post only?
Just partner online.
Posting everything,
Yeah.
documenting the life,
Yeah.
but not posting the partner.
Yes.
Depending on where they are in the
Okay, in the of relationship.
in the where they are. Are they official? Are they exclusive? Have they told it to the world? Are they out to the world that they are dating?
Okay.
If they are and yet not, then that's objectionable. But if they're not, then maybe yeah.
Okay, got it.
Also, like sometimes people don't want to.
Share it online.
Yeah,
their
their
personal life.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Still talks to an ex.
Very healthy green flag. Very, very healthy.
Okay. What? Okay. Someone who for example.
That just goes on to show how are that you can still that the person who let you down or the person you let down, you can still have a healthy relationship with them. Sorry, huh?
Yeah. Watch stories but never replies.
Yeah. Beige. I mean, I don't know. I mean, see again, specifically not replying to your stories and replying to everyone else's stories.
No. For example, we don't know, right? For example, they watch the story and never replies to the text which
That's
we have
okay.
sent. That's okay. Okay.
Yeah, if she's watched my story and not replied, like,
Okay.
it's very entitled that you have to reply to my story. No, it's okay. You watched.
Okay. Has mostly friends of the opposite gender.
Very, very green, beautiful, largely, it's a forest flag.
Okay. Green for Amazon.
It's an Amazon.
Okay. Says I'm bad at texting.
Beige, green. I mean, it's
Okay,
they're bad at texting, right?
Okay. Wants access to passwords and social media.
Oh, red flag.
Okay.
Okay, again, if the reasons are right, especially if let's say a couple has got married, you fear that they could be caught in a situation, God forbid, if you die or whatever, then at least I should have access to so that I can help with your finances or whoever it needs to be shared with. That I understand. But to constantly ask for password,
Not good.
No.
Okay. Fact or cap? I will give you the statement. You have to say me, is it fact or cap?
Okay, sure.
Dating apps killed romance.
Kind of fact, I would say.
Men fall in love faster than women.
No, I mean anyone can fall in. It's a very personal thing.
Okay. Long distance relationships work.
Yeah, fact, of course.
Opposite attracts.
Sometimes.
Okay. Love is enough.
Oh, cap.
You can stay friends with your ex.
Fact.
Social media is ruining relationship.
Social media is
Ruining relationships.
very pehले wala, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fact.
The talking stage is harder than the relationship.
Cap. Relationship is much harder. Much, much harder.
Okay. People are lonelier than ever.
Now?
Yes.
Yeah, fact.
Okay. Gen Z versus millennial. So
okay.
I will ask you, who falls faster, Gen Z or millennial?
Falls in love?
Yeah.
I don't know. See, again, people, right? Like it could be from any generation, I feel.
Okay. Who gets attached first, Gen Z or millennial?
Again, I don't like this Gen Z or millennial. Some of them I'll be able to answer.
Okay.
Who gets more attached? I think millennials, maybe they were slightly more emotional. I think Gen Z is slightly more pragmatic, I feel. But again, any kind of people can exist in any kind of generation, I feel.
Okay. Who moves on faster?
Again, it's very people this thing. But again, I would say Gen Z, I feel they are more pragmatic and they are more practical people than the previous generations. They might be able to move on.
Who communicates better?
Gen Z, for sure.
Who is more loyal?
Again, I think it could be from any generation.
Who is more romantic?
Romantic gestures, grand gestures, I think millennials did it
Very well.
like maybe one shade well. But I and Gen Z, because they are so practical about love, I don't see that there are too many grand gestures of romance. But they can be romantic in their own sweet way. Holding hands by the on a walk by the beach is also pretty romantic, I would say.
True.
So yeah,
Okay. Who overthinks more?
millennials.
Who ghosts more?
Again, it could be from any generation, but I think there's because of the dating apps and a lot of young generation are on the dating apps, the accountability has gone and they tend to ghost more, I feel. Yeah.
Gen Zs.
Yeah.
Okay. Who has healthier expectations?
Gen Z.
Okay. Let's go with the terms. Teach me the Gen Z terms which you know. Okay. What is situationship?
Situationship is pretty much like relationship is complicated, right? Like you don't know where this is going. This is a situation. This is not a relationship.
Delulu.
Delusional.
Breadcrumbing.
Breadcrumbing is very interesting. Like, you're just giving crumbs. आप दाना डाल दिया आपने, अब वो आएगा या नहीं आएगी वो बाद में पता चलेगा.
Okay. Benching.
Benching is having, a lot of these Gen Z terms, by the way, are also keeping options ready, be it breadcrumbing or be it benching. Benching is basically like, asking people to be in the line, okay? So that I can pick whoever I want to from the bench.
Yeah.
So
Orbiting.
orbiting is, you have cut off the person, okay? But the person is also trying to get into your life. You have called it off completely that, this relationship is not working and all that. But they're in your orbit, and what they will do is they'll watch your story, they will like, they will react and all that. They will try to orbit around you and be present in your life when you have completely cut off from that person.
Beige flag.
Beige flag, like I said, either in some situations it can be a red flag, in some situations it can be a green flag. So when you're not sure, it's a beige flag.
Okay.
I'll teach you 3 terms.
Okay.
There's one thing what you call cookie jar.
Okay.
So cookie jar is the person who's going to call you up only or send you a message only at 2 a.m. When they are not getting attention from other people on the bench,
Okay.
they're going to they will treat you as a cookie jar. Why cookie jar? At 2 a.m. when you're feeling hungry, you go to the kitchen, open the cookie jar and you have cookies, right?
Yeah.
That's satisfying you at night, right? So they will send you a message only at 2 a.m. Do not reply to that message because they are cookie jarring you.
Okay.
There's another thing called roster dating.
Okay.
Okay, where Gen Z has actually planned a roster that on Monday I'm going to date Meenal and on Friday I'm going to date Fatima.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's all in the open. It's all like well communicated.
How people are okay with that?
I mean, why not? It's just dating, right? And
Yeah,
you're
sure.
dating multiple people. So it's a roster dating. There's something what you call sunset relationship.
Okay.
Where they have decided what the last date of their relationship is going to be. So let's date this summer and we're going to call it off 31st of August. That'll be our last date of dating. So
Okay. What's main character energy?
like you are the center of attraction in a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lokesh, that was really great speaking to you. I hope you had enjoyed this podcast. So before we end, what's one relationship advice you would like to give to people?
Work on your relationship. I think the talking stage is very interesting when you're trying to get to know the other person, and there's excitement and there's attraction and there's there are butterflies in your stomach and all that. But once you get into a relationship, most of the people do not want to hear this, but relationship is daily work. It's literally putting in work, for the person you care. You cannot take the other person for granted. You have to work on your relationship.
True.
So I hate giving advices, like who am I, to give advice, sit on a pedestal and all that. But I guess if you were to get some advice out of me, I would say work on your relationship. Yeah.
Thank you, Lokesh, for being on the podcast.
Hey, thanks. I hope you got what you wanted.
Yeah, I got what I wanted. It was quite fun. There were some points which made me realize when you question my answer. So which made me realize, okay, I need to change few things within me
Okay.
and make it better. So that was really great, Loki. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, man. Also, if I can plug in my love games, Loki's Love Games, every Saturday at Headlines, World Trade Center, please come and join me. Actually,
Yes.
you are invited there as well. And I'm doing matchmaking there. So the idea is to blindfold single people, bring a boy on stage,
Okay.
blindfold them. They can just listen to their voices.
Okay.
Okay. And whether they're green
What's
flags and-
a case study, success story you have? How many?
I still have to because I've been doing it only for a couple of weeks now.
Okay.
I haven't had a success story so far.
Okay.
But I want to come and join me as a single
Sure.
person, and we're going to hook you up with on stage.
Oh my God.
You know, and let's see if you guys go on a date or not.
Sure,
yeah.
of course.
It'll be-
Let's
it'll be
try
fun.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Loki,
much,
once
man.
again.
Thank you. I had such a good time.
Same here. Thank you guys for watching till this end. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and subscribe to TBH with JJ. And I hope you like this and tell us the best part of this podcast, what you like the most. And follow to Lokesh Instagram as well as attend his events Bollywood quiz.
So I do Loki's Bollywood Quiz Night Thursdays, Indie 16. I do Loki's Pop Quiz at Half Walnut on Fridays at 8:30 p.m. And I do Loki's Love Games at Headlines World Trade Center once again at 8:30 on Saturdays.
Wow.
And you can follow me on Instagram. That's Lokesh Dharmani, Dharmani.
Let's go. Yay! Thank you guys. Hope to see you in the next episode. Thank you.